Hello, everyone. Welcome. Thank you so much for coming. My name's Christine. I really appreciate you joining us today for our first bereavement group. And so I wanted to just, first of all, welcome you. My name's Christine. I've been a bereavement counselor for about 5 years now. And, so we've been doing this a little while. And I have some experience as well myself with losing people that are special to me. So hopefully we can all share some experiences today and through the next weeks to, learn and grow from each other. That's the goal of the group. And I can assure you that everything you say is going to be secure. It's not going to be shared outside the group. I know some of you have hopefully had a chance to look over the consent forms, and I just wanted to take this moment to ask if you had any questions about anything on the form, anything that concerned you, anything at all? No? Okay, good. Well, if anything does come up, be sure to let me know, because it's open, at any point, if you ever feel that you're not comfortable with something, or, the way things are going, and just either feel free to pull me aside and talk to me individually, or again, this is an open group, so you also could feel free to discuss it with everyone in the group if you're comfortable with that. But basically, it comes down to your own comfortability, and whatever you're comfortable with, that's what we do. Okay? All right, awesome. So thanks again. Like I said, this is our first session together. So, this is a 10-session group to begin with, and if you after that point still requires there's further group counseling sessions you can continue with. But for this one, we find the 10 sessions is usually helpful, at least getting you to the point where you're deciding, how you want to move forward and what works for you and your own journey and your own story. So, oh, look, there's a little baby. And it is an online course. So, we're going to, an online sessions rather. So we are going to be, it makes it a little bit more, sometimes it can be a little bit harder to connect. Sometimes people feel, because having the whole online experience can be cause a little bit more distance. And so again, it comes down to your own comfort and what you're willing to share with. Hopefully, as we go on throughout the weeks, you'll start to feel more comfortable with, being on camera. I'm personally, myself, have been on camera for quite a while, so it's something that I'm used to, but not everyone is. So whatever your comfort level is the most important thing. Okay. And so because we're online, sometimes things can happen. We can have interruptions, and we have a way of sharing that hopefully is a little bit helpful, in that we have and again, this is not something you need to do, but it's often helpful when in an online situation where you want to share or express the feelings of other people that you're identifying with. And so if you're comfortable with it at any point, you can show a little heart symbol. That's a little heart symbol that we share with each other to give encouragement to one another, to say that we are on, we understand what you're saying, and our hearts with you. That's sometimes helpful, but again, not necessary at all. Don't feel obligated to do it if you're not comfortable doing that. Okay. So just to get started, I wanted to just go around the room and just simply introduce yourself, and if you don't mind just sharing with us who you lost and how long ago this person has left your life. And we start with Samantha, perhaps?
Sure. So about 2 months ago, I lost my grandfather, and we were very close. And about a month ago, I gave birth to my son. So I have like a weird out, like with one death, there's new life, and I'm hopeful that like a little bit of him lives on in my son. So my apologies if you kindly hear him in the background. My mother-in-law is helping me kind of through this hard time right now. So
support is important at this time for a lot of reasons. Yeah. Congratulations on the baby.
Thank you.
It's wonderful.
He's pretty sweet. He's been a good help and a good distraction too. So
Yeah.
That's been nice. But yeah, that's about me and that's about it.
Okay. Thanks so much for sharing that, Samantha. And Natsuki?
Hi everyone, I'm Natsuki. So I lost my mom beginning of this year. She was involved with a car accident. The first couple months, it's been so hard. I've been crying every day. I I couldn't I couldn't even get up from the bed every morning. Like I've been thinking my mom, and then even my brother, my sister, my father, everybody was just depressed. But like recently, we tried to go through the event, but now since Christmas is approaching, we just started depressed again, and we just crying every day because we cannot think about the Christmas. There is no mom. It's so hard this time. We try to go through, but especially the Christmas was biggest event for our family. We cannot think about there's no mom.
Oh, yeah, I can. That sounds like it would be really difficult to go through, and
Yeah.
I'm so really sorry to hear about the loss you had, especially in that sort of circumstances. It definitely makes things very difficult. So I'm sorry to hear that,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm glad that you actually brought up the idea of holidays, because that's actually something that's very in the forefront of our minds, especially right now. Obviously, Christmas is in a few weeks, and that's one
Mm-hmm.
of the things that I actually would love to talk to all of you about a little bit more, um, as well. I was hoping maybe just we could go around the room just one more time quickly and ask what what sort of joyful memory, or maybe you could share a little bit about what your loved one appreciated about the holidays, or perhaps maybe they weren't a big holiday
Mm-hmm.
person, and that's okay too. And so just wanted to go around the room and find a little bit more about that, if that's all right.
Okay, sure, sure.
Samantha, can you start with you?
Really just loved Christmas and the decorating and the lights. And I remember going out with him and I was looking at the lights when I was a kid. So there's a lot of those memories and baked goods. I love Christmas cake.
Love Christmas cake. Is that what you, yeah? That's interesting. A lot of people, that's a controversial one, I think. A lot of people are not too sure about the Christmas cake. How do you feel about the Christmas cake?
It's so good. I love
You
it.
love
It's
it?
like I love the smell of it when it bakes.
Oh, and that was something you shared, I guess.
Yeah, and we used to bake together. So
Oh, wow. That's nice. That's so
yeah.
lovely. Oh, wonderful. And Natsuki, is there a memory, a fond memory, or any kind of memory you'd like to share with us about the holiday season specifically?
Yeah, like my mom always made the best Christmas dinner,
Oh,
and she was a mom, but at the same time she was my best friend. Even though she was making the best dinner for the Christmas, but at the same time I was helping her. We are just chatting and laughing and making a joke to create the Christmas dinner. Was was so much joy. I just remember my mom was best cooker, best mother, best my kind of my biggest sister. So the
oh.
Christmas is not just for the dinner, but to make the one Christmas day, it was the biggest memory. It's not just making Christmas dinner, but the time I spent with her on the Christmas day, I
Mm-hmm.
cannot forget about it. That's why
Mm-hmm.
it's so hard to think about the Christmas. This year's Christmas, my mom is not here.
Yeah. Yeah. It is going to be a challenging time, I think, for your family,
Mm-hmm.
especially.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like Christmas meant family to you, essentially.
That's true. Yeah.
And so it's a time of your family being together, and unfortunately
Mm.
one of those family members are not going to be with you, and that's definitely. So how do you feel like your family might uh, honor your mother at this time, knowing that she's not going to be with you? Are you still planning to get together as a family? Especially with all this
Mm.
COVID thing going on as well. Is that also hampering some of the ability for you to gather with your family, or are you still doing that?
Yeah, we are still trying to spend time together because we just talked about how my mom will feel if we don't get together. Because she loves the Christmas, she really loved the Christmas to spend time as a family. So even though especially this year, it's so hard, the COVID stuff, but at the same time, she really hope we just spend time together thinking about the mom. So we try to go through and try to get together for our mom.
That's great. That's wonderful that you take that sort of way of thinking about it, and that I guess you can maybe imagine that if your mother wasn't, how your mother would feel if you didn't get together. That probably would, she may not be happy about that. So, it's really important, even more important almost, for you to get together as a family
For sure, yeah.
this year. And then you can also it sounds like you'll have some nice time to spend together to share stories about your mother and rejoice, and also potentially, cry together, and that's okay too. Whatever you feel you need to do with your family. Yeah.
Thank you
That
so much. Yeah.
sounds nice in a way. That sounds really nice to be able to do that still. So, and what about you, Samantha? What do you normally do at this time of year in terms of gathering with your family? Do you normally do Christmas dinner and that kind of thing as well?
So I live really far from family, so right now it's just more or less just focusing on making memories with the little guy and sort of I went home last year for Christmas. So Christmas kind of looks a little different.
Yeah. It looks different
We
for a
live
lot of
far away
us.
from family, so it's just more or less making sure that we make similar memories. And so baking, like I know he's young yet. He's only a month and a half come this Christmas, but just sort of making sure that he's in the kitchen with me if I bake, or making sure I keep those traditions alive.
Yeah. And I was going to ask, you feel like that's going to be a nice way to honor your grandfather?
Yeah, I think so. It's something that, a celebration of his life rather than,
And what did you used to do before all of this COVID stuff happened? Did you have large family get-togethers back then, or?
We did, yeah. We had a lot of large family get-togethers, and we put both families together, so it was a big table of 30 sitting around. So between my family, my husband's family, we all get together, and
nice.
Yeah. So now this year it'll look a little different, and that'll be an adjustment, but it'll be the three of us, and then hopefully Christmas will be we're a loud family, because if that's the case, then we want to invite people up.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. So I think it's going to be a tough time for a lot of families this year. Just even on, in general, I think for myself too, we usually get together with my grandmother. She's aging, and we were not able to do that this year. So, and she's thankfully still with us, but and she is going to be coming to the end of her life at some point in the next. She's 93, so she's and so the thought of not being with her this year has been difficult to deal with. So I definitely relate to what you're saying, and how it's going to be a little different for everyone, I think, this year. So how do you think that you might deal with that, the difference in terms of on an individual level for yourself? Do you feel like, that might be a little bit more difficult for you, knowing that you're going to have to do that? Or maybe
it'll be a little difficult. Like, we're used to going home, and now just kind of staying in Alberta, it's a different outlook, and so that'll be an adjustment, which I'm sure that we'll have to figure out how to adjust to that. But it might be difficult for, I'm gonna say, the first little bit of Christmas break, but as the days progress, and just kind of, like I said, he's been a huge blessing to the family. So just making sure I make all the memories with him.
Yeah, that'll definitely be a nice blissful distraction, I think, from all of this that's going on for all of us. It'll be lovely.
Yeah, I think
As
so.
you said, make your own traditions and your own, just while honoring the old, but also bringing in the new. And that's really
Yep.
important. I'm really happy to hear you think of it that way. That's great.
Thank you.
Yeah. And what about you, Natsuki? Any worries about how you're going to handle these things?
Yeah, probably every year we just gather the whole family together, but especially this year we lost our mom, and especially the COVID things, we cannot gather everybody together. So we just gonna gather my dad. I just gonna meet my dad, my brother, sister. So just four of us together and pray for mom. Just talk about my mom. This is our plan. We don't wanna invite the whole family because especially this year it's so significant for us. So we just wanna keep private to talk about my mom. This is our plan for this year's Christmas.
Wonderful. Yeah, I hear you. I hear you again that you feel that the support of the family around you is something that you're really looking forward to in terms of helping you. You feel like the strength of your family together is going to really help you get through this difficult time. And as an individual, it sounds like you're kind of looking forward to that support of having everyone together, and that in itself will make you feel that's great. And it's good. We're almost coming to an end here today, but I really just wanted to take some time to, especially since this is our first meeting and we are going into the holiday season, and there's going to be a lot of feelings and emotions potentially with bereavement. A lot of times things can kind of crop up on you as well, so things that you may not feel right now, and then in the next moment you may start feeling something completely different. It's kind of like the weather changing. It's something that I just want you to be aware that that's completely normal, and that if you do experience that, to feel okay with that, and to allow yourself to go through those feelings and to express them and as you need to. Hope it sounds like Natsuki is going to have some family around her, and Samantha, I'm sure you have some support from your baby's father to help you in those moments. And so I encourage you both to find that someone in these difficult times throughout the next coming weeks that you are comfortable with sharing. If you're not with us, obviously, you won't be with us every minute of the day. So, it's important to find someone else that you can feel comfortable sharing those feelings, because they probably will come. You'll probably feel them quite strongly over the next few weeks with the holidays and just in general. So I just want to leave you on a note to make sure you understand that that's perfectly normal and that you should embrace those feelings.
Thank you so much.
All right. Is there anything that I can answer for you before we leave our group today? I'm in contact. I've left you with my contact information. So if you ever have any questions throughout the weeks and that we aren't together, during the times we're not together, please feel free to email me. And I'm usually very close to my email at all times, so I'll be able to get it fairly quickly and be able to respond to you if you really need. And hopefully that will also help on top of finding that support person. Okay. Is there anything I can help before we say goodbye today?
No.
All right. Well, I really appreciate your time today, and I was really happy to meet you and hear your stories, and I really appreciate you sharing, and I really look forward to getting to know you more over the next few weeks. All right.
Thank you so
Thanks so much
much.
for joining us. Have a great day.
You too.